Okay, so it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. Um, and I am staying in tonight. I was up. I think I tried to wake up a few times. I was up around 10 eventually. Um, and in fact, I need to change my battery. I'll be back in a second. So yeah, I was up around 10, but it took me a while to wake up. Spent the first half of the day um, just watching random YouTube videos. And I've spent the last couple of hours um, setting up the editing process for the bulk of April. It's from the 10th to the 28th. So um, that's what I'll be doing for the night. Um, the most interesting thing to me tonight would have been The Damned. Um, and I think, in fact, there were some other bands on that bill as well. It's not like a cheap show, and I think there's other things that I might want to go to this month. I mean, The Damned were one of the most important punk bands in the late 70s, which means how old are they now? If I presume they were like around 20 in 1976, so that's what, 25, 30, 40. They're like in their late 60s, mid to late 60s. So they're old. And I kind of. I'm not enough of a fan. That's the thing. If I was a much bigger Damned fan, I would be excited about seeing them when they're in their 60s. Given that I'm not such a big Damned fan, I'm not so excited about seeing them in their 60s. Um, I think it's Pennywise. Let me double check on that. Um, I've got it's it's not just the Damned. I don't think. I think there's a bunch of other things on it. It's the 40th anniversary tour of the Damned, um, which is right. Yeah. So yeah, they're like in their 60s. So it's just like, like, especially considering the type of music it is too, right? It's just you don't do that. And on top of that, I mean, I know the Damned material I know is like the earliest material, right? And I know that they released records all through the 80s, and in fact, I think they even released a couple of records in the 90s. So I'm gonna guess chances are that they're gonna be more interested in playing their later material as well. So it's kind of just like, I haven't done the research yet for the rest of the month, but I've been able to see that there's enough things that look more interesting that I don't want to, drop. I mean, it's gonna cost me like $50 Canadian. I don't really want to drop that on the night, right? So that's what I would be doing, or it's the show that I'm missing. Is that? But I'm just. It's not the first situation, right? Of this sort where it's just like I don't want to. I thought about it. It's just that, do I really want to go? The answer is I don't. Um, Sorry, it's taking forever because I'm copying into the virtual machine, and it's just Firefox being Firefox. Um, la la la. Okay. And that shouldn't even be up there because yeah. The show started at 7, or the doors are at 7. So I mean that's another sign that you know that like this is like slow. I know why it's slow. It's actually the hard drive that's slowing me down right now. But I mean I'm copying 30 gigabytes into a virtual machine. You know. I'm trying to think what the other does it even say. Gotta say at some point. No, I was wrong. Okay, so it's just the damned. I mean, it's gonna be like a. I bet it's like a. It could be like a 2-hour show, or it could be like a. I bet it's not though. So I think what is the cover? Exactly. But okay, it's telling me that it's not even gonna tell me how much it is, as it says. Jeez, it won't even tell me how much it is because it's already started. So it's got a. Yeah, no, it's just not gonna do it, huh? Okay. I don't know why they make it. This is something that I'm noticing. They make it very hard to see what the price is. You know, as though like it's as though they think they can trick people into into buying it, and then it's just like the tactics they use are just ridiculous. Um. Anyways, what I'm doing tonight is I'm gonna spend the night in bed, basically. Um, doing I need to do a little bit of the. From what it's actually not so bad. It seems to suggest it's okay. So it's $25. Then I gotta convert that, so it's about 30. So yeah, and then yeah, it would have cost me about $50 to get across. Believe it or not. Um, and it's not like I say, it's just not worth it. Might have been in some other uh, scenario, but I know that there's a few things coming up. I mean, if I'm gonna blow that much money on a show, I'd rather go see Soundgarden, and Soundgarden's gonna be here sometime in the middle of the month. So, and I'm probably not gonna go see Soundgarden. It's just there's an Adrian Belew show in the middle of the month, and it's about the same price. And there's a higher chance that I'll go to that because I'm much more of an Adrian Belew fan, right? But I mean, if it was even if it was $20 Canadian, and I didn't have to cross a border, You know what I mean? Like if it was around the corner for $20, I'd probably go. It's like a big difference, right? Um, it's the reality of Detroit. It's I mean, like I said, even if I had the cash, it would still be just an annoyance because I don't want to drive over, anyways, right? Although I'm gonna stop and start for a minute because we gotta talk about something that happened this morning. So I almost forgot, but the previous property owner, the old guy, came down to talk to me, and we need to document this. It's important that we do. So this is gonna have to come up with the rest of the stuff. Um, I'm gonna need to do an editing run once I'm done this as well. So, anyways, he came by to talk. He says he seemed to be more or less amused by the situation, and I mean I can agree, at least it's amusing. Um, and he seemed to tentatively agree with me that the response that I got from the husband of the new property owner, which I guess would be his niece's husband, um, he seems to accept that it was unacceptable, but he's taking this sort of weird position that because he's not technically the property owner, what he said shouldn't matter, which is just bunk, right? I mean, to begin with, his name is on the rent increase. Like it's presented as a as a couple, right? So it's the actual truth of the matter is that it's probably in their name jointly. But even if that wasn't true, it's he was sent as an the technical legal term for him then would be an agent of the property owner if he's not the actual property owner, even though he actually is the actual property owner. Um, so I mean they're just kind of making stuff up again. But anyways, they seem to think that, or what he's saying is that he's saying that he's going to reassume the responsibilities of dealing with things. I mean, the property remains in the name of the new property owner, but the old property owner is now the acting superintendent. I guess because he knows the property, he knows the tenants, and um, he has time to deal with it, right? I mean, it's a full-time job, right? And there's a reason for it, and the guy upstairs can't do it. So, I have no pushback on that. I don't. It doesn't even matter what the legality of it is, right? As far as I'm concerned, I get something from anyone in the family, and it's as equally valid as anything else, except the people that are clearly not legally capable of presenting themselves as such, right? But I mean, if I get it from the daughter or the daughter's husband or the brother or whoever else, it's all equivalent to me, and that's the legal truth of it, right? So, I mean, this position that what he said doesn't matter because, like, I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong on every level, right? It's just kind of a um, what it is it's an attempt to save face. Okay. Um, you could tell as he was talking to me that he felt kind of stupid about everything that happened, and you could tell that what he's thinking in his mind is that, you know, if I was in charge, this would have never happened. Like, you could tell that's what he's thinking, and he's probably right. Okay, this is probably the truth of it. But I mean, the bottom line is this, right? I asked the husband, "What are you going to do?" And the husband said, "I'm not going to do anything. So what else am I going to do besides sue him?" And like I say, I got the property owner to tentatively agree, right? And I got sorry, I got the old the new superintendent. I got the old guy, the reasonable one. I got him to tentatively agree with that statement. And the corollary, which is that if he's actually going to do something, then the basis of the lawsuit negates itself, right? They're legally obligated to do something. They said they're not going to do something. I have to sue them. If they're going to decide that they're going to do something, then I don't have to sue them anymore. Although it's already in process, right? There's a possibility we could come up with a settlement before it comes up, and he's kind of thinking about it, right? As I noted a few times yesterday, it was brutal yesterday. Yesterday it was awful. Why was it awful yesterday? Because of the temperature difference, right? I've demonstrated this repeatedly. It's repeatedly demonstrable. It happens every time the same way. It's easy enough to see what's actually causing it. When I went out there today, it wasn't like clear, night and day difference, right? I suspect that, in fact, the old guy came in earlier in the day, or like he probably came in early in the morning and opened the window upstairs. And in fact, I saw him, I'm not sure, I saw him close the window. So he either opened the window and closed it at the same time, or the window was open and then he closed it, right? I suspect, like I say, that he came in early, opened the window, let it air out for the morning, and then once it was aired out, came and knocked on my door and talked to me, and then he was all like, "I can't smell it." Well, you can't smell it because the window's been open for hours. And with the temperature difference, that would make sense. He actually wants to remove these tenants. I don't want to say he's on my side, because that's actually not what I want. I don't want him to throw them out. It would maybe be easier if it would be from my perspective, it would be the easiest solution. I'll acknowledge that. You throw them out, you get some non-smokers in, that would be the easiest thing to do. I'm not going to deny that, right? But I mean, it's not, I've never proposed this. It's not a solution that I would present. But he doesn't want to build a wall, and doesn't want to build a wall because it's expensive. The wall won't actually keep the smoke out. I'm not joking, these are the arguments he used. He doesn't want to put a fan on the wall, right? Like I presented a number of solutions that he doesn't want to take any of them. So, he's angling towards evicting them. He thinks that's he'd rather evict them than build a wall. He'd rather evict them than put a wall fan up. So I mean, I guess it's his prerogative if that's what he'd rather do. I mean, it's not my request. I'm not suing them to evict these other tenants. I'm suing them to allow me to mitigate, right? But that's what happened this morning. He knocked on the door. He suggested that he's willing to do something. If he has an answer before the court comes up, then I guess we can settle before we walk in. Short of eviction, I'm not sure what else he could. Like I said, I'd be happy with a fan on the wall. It really wouldn't cost anything. I mean, it would, but not really in the long run, right? But I mean, if I show up to the court, on the 11th of May, and he tells them, okay, the smokers are gone, I guess that solves the problem. I don't really have a case if that's what he does, right? But he agreed he's going to do something, right? So it's a positive step. It required litigation to get them to do it, but at least it's something. And I mean, his arguments about his niece's husband are nonsense, but whatever. Um, and yeah, that's what happened. So, um, that's recorded. I'm gonna stop and start. Okay, so for me, for the rest of the night, I'm just sitting here. Let me stop on the computer. I need to do some editing. I'm gonna do some research for the rest of the month for shows. And it's all designed to kind of get that dealt with for the night, so that I can get to cleaning tomorrow. Tomorrow needs to be full clean day, stop to start, and in fact, it might be a long day. One way or the other, that's the plan for tomorrow. So, yeah, that's what we've got in motion here for the day. If I had infinite sums of cash, I would have gone to see the Dam tonight, even with the shitty weather. But it's I'd rather see some other things as the month progresses. Uh, I hope that the no doubt mostly older crowd enjoys it. I would have been just as out of place there as I would be at a show for very young people. But hey, like I say, if people went, I hope they enjoyed it. But it's just not the best thing for me on this particular evening. Okay, but I'm gonna get back to what I'm doing. Am I ever gonna get back to doing the show reviews? Hopefully, fairly soon. Actually, um, once I get this editing push done, and I get I get the look ahead for the month done, and the cleaning done, I could very well sit down and do some of this. We'll have to find out.